The row between Boris Johnson and Dominic Cummings escalates. We talk about the anti-lockdown protests in London and how the mainstream media has failed this country. Hello everyone, welcome to the second video of the day. As I said at 5:45 p.m. video, thank you so much for all the kind messages and emails about my health. I'm back, recovered. We are the media. Let's get on with it. There's a lot to talk about. You've all probably heard of this saga between Boris Johnson and Dominic Cummings. I'm going to talk about it only just to say that we shouldn't talk about it, as in the mainstream media are weirdly obsessed with political gossip in Westminster when we have actual problems in this country. Right now, as I speak, the anti-lockdown protest, or as they call it, the Freedom March, is going on in central London, and there's a lot of other issues in the country, yet the mainstream media are just very much obsessed with Dominic Cummings. So the whole saga started with all the recent problems, with all the leaks and everything else, with the text messages. The David Cameron stuff started, then Boris Johnson and Dyson, and now Downing Street are hitting back at Dominic Cummings. They found an easy target to say that it was all his fault. He's been leaking. And what I've learned since the days when I was working with as obviously part of the Vote Leave campaign during the Brexit referendum, do not start a fight with Dominic Cummings unless you know you're going to win, because it's a bad idea. The guys hit back. Dominic Cummings has come back because initially we had a couple of weeks ago the civil servants and the media going after him. Now we have actual Downing Street, and of course we know certain people behind it. So the issue is that all this stuff happening and the media are obsessed with it. The Sun and Harry Cole reported on this, saying that of course Dominic Cummings is not going to stay quiet on this. So what Cummings did was he essentially wrote a blog on his website responding to all the allegations, and he's prepared to come to Parliament to show evidence and to expose. He's already exposed certain names of who actually leaks in Downing Street. And there's a bit of a complication in there, but the reason it kind of this matters only to the sense that Downing Street is currently all over the place. This government, I have no idea what's going on. Yes, we have a weak opposition in the Labour Party. They can't do anything. And so, of course, Boris Johnson's government and the Tory party are still popular in the opinion polls. And also because, generally speaking, the country is still standing. We're not completely collapsing. But on the other hand, this is all happening despite the fact that the central machine is all over the place. They're not completely competent. We also have a number of cabinet members who are not really competent. But on this issue, Dominic Cummings has come back to fight back. And obviously, the actual full blog is on his website. You could go check it out. But we got the kind of small section, the bullet points for you, thanks to Guido Fawkes, saying that one issue is about this WhatsApp messages between Boris Johnson and Dyson. He says that whilst he possesses some of the WhatsApp messages between the PM and Dyson, because Boris Johnson was sharing it with him, he claims to have not found the ones that were leaked to Laura Kuenssberg and the BBC. So that's the thing. So all the WhatsApp messages, and by the way, that's the issue where Boris didn't do anything wrong. Nothing illegal was happening in that situation. Dyson was helping the government voluntarily. No profit, no actual financial gain was coming out of it. And he was just trying to make sure that his employees are not going to get hit by more extra tax for no reason. He was just checking. It was just a message, and then they went through the official channels to sort it out. That was it. But it was leaked to Laura Kuenssberg. This is all happening just to bring down this government by the left. And but they're saying it was Dominic Cummings that leaked it. This is what Boris Johnson's team are saying. So Cummings says, I still have the text messages. I can prove it to you that the ones that were leaked to Laura Kuenssberg, the BBC, I don't have them. Second issue is on the point of who actually leaks when it comes to the lockdown plans. The second lockdown plans were leaked to the media, and the cabinet secretary did this investigation and told Boris Johnson that it wasn't Dominic Cummings or even Lee Kane at the time, the director of communications, and said that all evidence pointed to Henry Newman, one of the political advisors. Now, the problem with this is that Dominic Cummings and others went to Boris Johnson and said, oh, well, Henry Newman is a suspect. And Boris said, oh, I'm going to have to fire whoever is responsible. But a bit of problem. Henry Newman is best friends with Carrie Symonds, Boris Johnson's fiance. So, of course, Boris couldn't fire him. So then they went back to using Dominic Cummings and Lee Cain as targets. Now, of course, this is not just both sides are making claims and allegations against each other, but it goes to the third bullet point on this issue of the number 10 private flat, because Boris Johnson and Carrie Symonds were conducting this refurbishment. And Dominic Cummings claimed that he was actually trying to stop Boris Johnson because Boris was trying to use their donations, their party donations, to secretly pay for the renovation. And Dominic Cummings said this is unethical, foolish, and possibly illegal. And then Cummings basically said that as of that moment, he's not going to talk to Boris Johnson about that issue because it's just not right. So that's another thing. And then this is a long article that he's written on his website. And then he basically says that he describes the Prime Minister and his office of falling so far below the standards of competence and integrity the country deserves. Now, I said all this only to say that the whole thing is nonsensical in the sense that the mainstream media's obsession about it, just like the whole WhatsApp messages between Boris Johnson and Dyson. Everything else is happening right now in the country, and the media are just this weirdly obsessed with this. Yes, while the media's obsession with political gossip in the Westminster bubble continues, real stuff is happening across the country. We have the Freedom March, or the anti-lockdown march, in London today. Again, you could have a mature and grown-up debate about what's been happening in the country, the whole situation with the virus and the lockdown policies. Let's have a proper debate about this. And, maybe one side is wrong, one side is wrong. Maybe both sides are right to a point. But shutting down debate is not the way to go. And the mainstream media's focus on completely just slamming people who just have an opinion. They want to come on the streets and express an opinion is wrong. And the fact that they're not even concerned about people's concerns, that the fact that a lot of these people who are currently out in London protesting are there not just for fun, and it's not just trivial civil liberties. A lot of them are dealing with, or they have family members or friends who are dealing with mental health issues. That's escalated since last March. A lot of them have lost their businesses, lost their jobs, and going through tough situations right now. And the mainstream media are just concerned about Carrie Symonds and Dominic Cummings. It's not just that. On this channel, if I claim to be the media or the alternative media, then it has to be our job to do what the mainstream media are not doing. We have to talk about other problems. We have to talk about the fact that the media aren't really scrutinizing what's been happening with Extinction Rebellion recently. These guys, the middle-class hippies with their sandals going around and smashing windows for some reason, and buildings and businesses and banks, and yet they got arrested. They went to court, and despite the fact that there was evidence in law against them, the jury decided to say that they should be cleared of all charges. This is the problem we have. Where is the media's scrutiny in this? Where is our society? And where is the state in this? And that's one problem. We've talked about the issues with the lockdown. We've talked about the Extinction Rebellion. What about other problems? What about what's been happening over the last year or so? Unemployment, especially when it comes to younger generations, under 35s, are still facing the biggest crisis when it comes to unemployment. Yes, the economy is going to bounce back. We know that. GDP will come back up. And inflation will probably go up eventually. But there is a current problem, and a lot of people have to leave their industries because they're going down. They're going to have to find different jobs, different skill sets. It's not an easy shift. What about other problems? What about the fact that UK teenagers have been hit by mental health crisis? It's been the biggest over the last year. And it's, again, the anxiety and everything else has doubled, more than doubled, in this country since March 2020. Where is the media scrutiny in this? What about the fact that only 3 days ago, 6 boats with 132 migrants were picked up by the border force? And the situation with the Dover border continues to escalate. And yet, the BBC every now and then just post something on their website saying, oh, there we go, we reported this. Why not questioning the Prime Minister or the Home Secretary or the people in charge? Some questions to see what's exactly going on. But as I said, it's not their job anymore. It should be our job and your job. We are all citizens, journalists at this point. You'll have a phone. If you see a problem, record it, report it on social media, send it to us, email it to us. And we have a big community on this channel now, especially the members of the channel. That reminds me, tomorrow's Sunday, which is the weekly newsletter day. So if you're a member of the channel, make sure to sign up to the newsletters for free. The link is on the community page on YouTube. So when you go on YouTube, there's a few tabs, go on community, and you can find the link to sign up. And if you're not a member of the channel, why not become a member of the channel to support us, but also get a lot of perks and benefits in return. We have the weekly Q&As on Mondays. We also have the regular video calls with me and Lacey, weekly free newsletters, and also free access to events and discounted merchandise. Make sure to check it out. The link is in the description. Also find the join button next to subscribe. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.